Hey everyone, so I just wanted to introduce to you a new version of MoonScrape, and basically what this one has now is embeddings. You can see it has BERT model embeddings, and I can stream in data from the web to fine tune the BERT model on command. I can also basically just reset it and make a brand new one, make different fine tuning models for different things. And I can do bulk searches. So if you can see over in my keywords text, I have like this for example of a keyword, and I could do maybe each city per SEO, like Edmonton SEO, Calgary SEO, blah blah blah, Vancouver SEO, all the way down, and get the data for all that, then talk to it about all that. So I'm just going to demo a few things about it. So right now, the only thing that it should know, basically, because there's no reg, it's only KEGG, so it's very hyper focused to what's in the model embedding. So if we say we're going to query the local knowledge, and we're going to ask it who the president is, because it has the information that Donald Trump has been recently elected as president of the U.S., and so it knows that he will be the president and not Biden, which would be the default one from the scrape data. So that's what's been added into the embeddings by the web search. So you can see Donald Trump is the current president of the United States. And that's what I asked. There's a double response here, but I'm just getting it like perfectly right for this, and I'm still formatting how that's coming out, but that could be easily changed. So now what I'm going to do is reset the database so it won't have any info on it. So you can really hyper micro fine tune it if you wanted. And now if I go to query the local database and I ask it the same question, who's the current president of the US, it literally won't know because it's not in the database. So now I'm going to web search it and say, who's the current president of the US again? And it's going to look at Google on the first 10 pages and scrape the first 10 pages. And then after it's scraped with beautiful soup, well, first it's going to go through data for SEO, get the SERP collection, and then scrape that with beautiful soup on my computer. And beautiful soup is free. So all this is super cheap. It's costing thousands of a cent per search, like literally like 0.000 maybe 8 cents of a search, I think. And the most expensive one there is the data for SEO SERP poll. I'm using Amazon Micro Research, so it's an incredibly small, incredibly fast model, and so it's taking a little while because it went through each of the URLs scraped based on what the intent wanted, and so it's basically doing what I'd call a middle out extraction because it's only grabbing the key points and the important part of the information. And then it's got to go through up to 5 epochs to try to improve the quality of the content before it stores it in the database. But once again, not all searches take the same amount of time. So some are going to be long, some are going to be short, depending on what it is. But generally, if you're fine tuning it with each search, it'll be yeah. So once again, it also freezes. Sometimes it's not perfect because it was stuck and I had to press enter to skip it. So that was a little bit misleading on how long it was. But you can see all the current up-to-date info from the web is there, and now it's getting a better quality score and keeping the semantic similarity same to the intent of the question that I asked it. And so now it's going through number 2 and number 3. And this is all right through terminal in Python code. For example, here main.py is py, is the one of the parts of the code, and we can see the agents that are doing all the work in here. So we have the intent agent, for example, which breaks down everything I'm saying based on the intent of the question here. You can see the self-user prompt is broken down, and then it passes it to the content processor, and then the processor takes all the information and gets all that data and processes each URL in basically as fast as it can, and then stores it. And then it looks at this analyzer agent, takes that and fine tunes it a little bit more, so it's actually producing something that you want. So yeah, we can see here there's a big long section on who's the current president and all the stuff around him, because I don't just want to get the information of like who's the president of the United States. I want to know the backstory, and I want to know enough detail that I don't have to search Google with it. And this is a really great thing. You could schedule searches, you could save all the information, always the final information from each search is kept here. And so you can take this and you instantly have all that data for something else. You could do like keyword SEO briefs and everything else because of how accurate and how up to date it is. So it only did the double because I hit a button while it was searching. So that's why it loaded up that twice. But you can see here, I can also do the bulk sort search. So let's, like I was mentioning earlier, so if I go back here and I get to the keyword, oh, and here, let's say once again, I want to reset the database, so I'm going to reset it. I just want to do this before I search so I can show you. So let's say you want to do a complete reset to 0. So you reset that, and it resets all the embeddings and everything. And then I have a reset and install bat file. So it just runs, it deletes, basically nukes all the stuff like the system logs and the files and all the dependencies and everything from the pip install, and it reinstalls all those. So now it's all back to normal, like back to default set 0, or like true 0 as I would call it, and then it has to load up the model again because the model wasn't created. It was destroyed while it was off. So it made the model and it's setting all the tensors and everything. And yeah, it's just got to going through a whole bunch of stuff. But I wanted to show you what it looks like to search the bulk keywords. So this is all automated. So it does one instance per, like one piece of research per, let's see if that's, yeah, per line is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to have 2. Actually, let's do something that might make a bit more sense. I'm going to say, who is the current president? And I'm going to say, what was Claude's latest news? So Claude, I'll say Anthropic just to make sure. So they just released 2.7, and they talked about doing a major funding round where they got more info or more money than they expected. So I'm going to do a bulk search from that keyword. It's going to confirm which keywords I want, and I'm going to say yes. And then it's going to iterate each keyword and search on the web for each one. So let's say if you wanted 10,000 or 50,000 keywords for a custom LLM, you could do that, and it would look specifically off this embedding model. And it's super fast and it's super efficient. How it's all working basically is I have a OpenRouter account. I also have a Data for SEO account. I won't show you it because it shows your API key email, but it's dataforseo.com to handle the SERP scraping. So this is my all my stuff for my OpenRouter, and the amount of money it uses, you can see here, is virtually non-existent. Like this is when I was using Grok, and I thought Grok was fairly cheap, and then I switched to Micro, and I've been using Micro like mad, and it's it just doesn't even cost more than a few like hay pennies a day, which is a half a cent, which is nuts. So I would recommend using Micro or Google Gemini even for your any research stuff, any production stuff. I'd recommend something like Grok 2 or DeepSeek. I've started to use now, and it's been going really, really well for a distilled Llama version of DeepSeek, and I'm using that for fine tuning on major stuff, on major projects. So you can see here, it's got the current president because we wanted to do that and the other one. Sorry about the scroll here. I'm going to set to the side. So we wanted to see who's the current president and Claude's Anthropic latest news. So it's got the current president and it's going for the news next. So you can see here it's got the news, and that's all correct. Once again, this is a little bit overkill for just searching the news, for searching for keywords. You would be using local search most of the time once you already have the information you want. So you would basically run it through a training run, and it would search maybe 10,000 keywords, like I said, or something, or it could scrape a URL sitemap. I could program that into it, which I'm going to do. And yeah, that way it can handle all that. You can talk to your website. You can talk to your any kind of job or anything. Like you can have PDFs, for example. So there you go. It does an awesome job at getting all the information around it. It even cites sources, so you can go directly to it. And you can put this out in any type of format you want. I just have it right here. And also, the analysis is here. It shows both searches you did for each, or one analysis for each keyword. So you have all the information about Claude, and it's all written in Markdown, so that you can come over here and you can see it all nice and pretty right here. You can also take this info and you go to Google Docs. Google Docs here, and you can paste it directly in there. And once you get rid of the surrounding, I can make a better output, or someone can make a better output for this. You could do that, and there you have it. You have it right to, you even have sources right to the news. Oh, maybe, okay, so this one might have been a speculative source, but it's still bringing you to the website at least. Sometimes it likes to speculate on that, so I haven't done the full amount. This one is probably .com. It might be a placeholder. Yeah, it's a placeholder URL, but it's still techcrunch.com. So I'm going to work on that a bit. But everything else is like right on. If we go, I'm going to grab the exact keyword so you can see what's on Google here. Where is it? I know you're somewhere around here. You're probably back here. There. Just going to grab that. And you can see it matches up perfectly all the way through. We'll just get to the end, and this is what it is. What it says, 3.7 Sonnet, 3.7 Sonnet. Latest, I'm going to say latest funding round. So this just happened 6 days ago, right? Like that's how quick this, how up to date this news is. And I can get news up to date within hours, not days. So as long as it's out, it can basically automate that, or it search that. And you can even automate I'm going to have it so you can schedule multiple searches. Right now you can schedule one search, but I want to have it scheduled multiple, so you can schedule each day and get the new news for that date. Let's say you're doing stock picks or sports rounds or anything like it's really good at, you can say like, perform a new web search, and we can, who results for the last 5 UFC rounds. So you're a big sports fan, you can have this running. So we'll have, let's say a specific one. I think they're like UFC like 300 around there. UFC 313, that was one, that was Strickland. Yeah, or Pereira versus Adeklev. So we'll say, let's say Strickland's last fight. I know he just had one because I was using it for research. So I'll just get to the right one. So I'm going to say perform a web search. So this just happened on February 8th, so not that long ago. Oh, it didn't. Maybe that's a slight bug. It might be doing might have bugged out and started doing the bulk keywords. It is, like I said, it is a new program, so you're going to have to give it a little bit of time. But basically, it can search anything you want, and it saves it, and then you can talk back to it locally, which is, I think, a really cool way of doing it. And it's basically headless fine-tuning. So it's a very, quote-unquote, easy way to do it, because you could just have this interface and store it like this without any setup. Like, literally, that's as much setup as you need to do for a full version. And if you wanted to do it instantly, like to get a brand new default embedding list, or embedding file, you could just hit reset the database, and it resets the database back to a blank state. And then, like I said, with the reset and install, it'll purge and nuke everything out of the system. It'll get rid of all the Hugging Face data and all that stuff. And then once all that is done, like, it'll install everything it needs to, and if it's already there, it won't. But yeah, once that's done, you can just run it again, and it's ready to go fresh. So hopefully this is interesting to somebody, and I'm going to have it all open source and free on my GitHub in case anybody wants to use it. So yeah, this will have some actual enterprise level applications, I hope, eventually. Okay, thanks. Bye.